Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Hang with the Joneses, episode 71. New week, new pod. Solo again, and I'm still talking about Genius on Netflix, episode number 2. And it's been fun. Again, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can get all the updates and whatnot. I've been having a real good time doing this by myself. So, episode 2, Act 2, Purpose. And this episode, we see post signing and goings ons with one Kanye and what he's going through. Main thing is get signed, and his label doesn't really want to push his album, and also the kind of life altering event of him getting into the car accident. So all this is happening around the same time. And after Jay Z, after Kanye gets into the accident, Jay Z and the crew are really not trying to. They're not giving him no momentum at all. Like everything is at a standstill, and it's interesting to see how much harder he went with the album because, of course, you already know Through the Wire is basically him being post post accident rapping with the wire still in his jaw, and how a lot of that raw emotion from how he felt and what he was going through, like really kind of catapulted him to making them push the album. I mean, he spent his own money to make the video. Remember when videos were a thing? Like you can really push a song via video. Crazy times, right? So made his own video for Through the Wire and the whole nine. It was interesting just to see how early Kanye was so very behind the creative process. Like even early on, he was like, I want to it was very much I want things done my way. And for better and for worse, that's what's kind of led him to where he is right now. So watching Kanye pre college dropout and seeing how he had to really push for the narrative that he wanted to push. He was doing an interview and he was saying how like I don't understand how like if I don't have if I'm not a don't have a record or haven't been in jail or I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that I can't be a rapper because the persona around rap was so hardcore centric that people like Kanye had a really hard to kind of push through. Of course, you had, like I said last episode, a lot of people over at Ruckus Records were kind of like that alternative to what the mainstream hip hop was. But for him to be on Rockefeller and to be so different from the rest of the label, I mean, even it's it's crazy in hindsight. They legitimately were trying to push PD Crack and like the Young Gunners over Kanye. PD Crack, Young Gunners, state property. Like they were trying to push their albums, have him produce their stuff, but not push Kanye stuff. So that's just the mindset of early 2000s rap that Kanye, who could clearly rap and produce, was like, nah, you're not even what we looking for right now. So we're gonna put you on the back burner, which is crazy. Again, in hindsight. And Cootie's still there recording everything. His boy from Chicago, and he's like documenting his struggle, and even after he got into the accident, and you see like his like he's at the dentist, and it's funny because he's like, man, I want to go to this whack ass dentist, and then goes to the dentist, and you can see kind of like the conflict and the tension between him and the dentist because Kanye's ready to go, ready to get the wires out of his jaw and the whole nine, and the dentist is like, yo, like you need real surgery, like your bite is off, like it's of course speaking as a surgeon, he wants his patient to regain full mobility of, basically of his jaw. And Kanye's like, man, he's worrying about the more vain visual side because it's like, I'm an entertainer and like I need to look good for my people, and the dentist is like, yo, like, okay, but you still you're not really ready yet. So that's why we have him essentially still pushing forward, rapping through the wire, you know what I'm saying, and explaining what's going on at the time. And it's crazy because even in the and through the wire, he was like, I drink a Ensure for breakfast and a Boost for dessert. Somebody order pancakes, I just sip your scissor. You can even see like the Ensure on the table. So like what he was going through, he was really going through. And that's the part for me, it's crazy. Okay, so even at the beginning of the episode when he's there's like a home video and he's in Oklahoma City, and that's basically he said that in the rap. He said that made me want to get my advance out and move to Oklahoma and just move to my aunt's house. That's from Gone off the late registration. Probably one of the best albums ever. But anyway, so there's a lot of small key pieces we see of his life that he's actually lived through and been through. So that was really really good to see those little small parts. And even like, yeah, at the beginning, early Kanye, just like in 1990, just rapping for a camera, just super confident in his little whack 10-year-old rap, but didn't care. And that's kind of the amazing part of an artist. They're just gonna be pushing themselves the entire time, really trying and just not caring. Like for me, it's been super like inspirational just to watch because I've been like, wow, like he just really believed in himself. And not only that, like his mom really believed in him. And every step of the way, like his mom is there just pushing and encouraging. And he went on Def Poetry Jam, which was that was a thing back in the day too. Russell Simmons a little problematic, well, very problematic. But yeah, he went to Def Poetry Jam and basically did like a poetic style All Falls Down, which was like I don't even remember that. Like I definitely didn't have HBO in college like that for real, and I don't like poetry, so I wasn't even watching that anyway. That's besides the point. So so Kanye was really trying to push himself into notoriety, and you also see like a early Dave Chappelle because you know that he went on Dave Chappelle with Most Def and I think Freeway Move. Either way, like yeah, he was like you could see him in the mix, and then we also see like they like ends up forcing Rockefeller to record his album. And the way he had to record his album was like really crazy because they wouldn't give him no studio money. And he was like piecing together features and people and studio time, like borrowing studio time. Like there's a scene where he's borrowing studio time from Pharrell, and he's like making basically bits and pieces for the Through the Wire video just by watching people's reactions to listening through the wire, which is a genius and cheap idea. So you got a real young DeRay Davis is in here. I didn't even realize that like they knew each other, which was crazy. And he played it for him in the car, and then the scene with Pharrell, he plays it with him in the studio, and Pharrell was just like blown away because one, the sample was crazy, and then when they realized they flipped it because the engineer heard it, and then Pharrell was like, "Yo, did you hear that? Like how you flipped through the wire through the fire?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's crazy." And he was just like, "Yo, I did not know." I'm like, I did not know, and it was just really cool to see that. So put the video out. He actually had a video party, and Dame is there, and like this is the whole vibe that Dame is giving is very big brother little brother vibes, which Kanye definitely explained in Big Brother on Graduation Day album with him and Jay Z. So does that, proves himself, gets a crazy media push, and it's amazing how relationships will play a part into how you move forward with anything. So there's a part where he gets a like you heard it first, like MTV, and the dude who like did the package for them, they end up having a relationship with him, like him and Cootie. I think the guy's name is Cheo. I forgot, but they're still working together doing videos and stuff to this day. You know what I'm saying? And they even are doing that. They're the people who are producing and editing the documentary itself. So that relationship stood firm. Like even to the point where album is done and he's trying to do Kanye's trying to make videos for the album, and he tried to make Jesus Walk, but like he didn't really want Cootie to do it. He wanted Hype to do it. So oddly enough, Cootie was like, man, what's gonna happen? We gonna go back home to Chicago, and then you gonna call us talking about something. It wasn't done the way I wanted it done. You gonna call us back? Kanye actually had two people try to direct the video, didn't like either concept, and got Cootie and other dude to come back to actually do the Jesus Walk video. So interesting times for Kanye during this album release of College Dropout, and from signing to release of the album. And this next one is going to be crazy because I'm not even sure how much we're going to spend for the next episode, because we already know what happens next. Late registration, Taylor Swift, mom passing away. There's just a lot of things that transpire between College Dropout and, let's say, graduation day. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's really all I have for this episode. If you haven't, definitely subscribe to the channel. I mean, it's like the obligatory thing to do. The obligatory thing to do. But yeah, also check out my boy Tony Va. Tony has a pod called The Wisdom of Bad Movies. His first movie that he dropped was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles OG 1990 version. Very big brain concept of how that movie is and the kind of the underlying issues with some of the themes and such. So definitely check him out. Again, The Wisdom of B Movies. That's on any podcast. Also on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel as well. He's doing great things over there. But yeah, that's all I got. See you guys next time.